Yo, this is K-Truce, welcome to the video, and today I'm going to talk about my experience with the middle child of the Kenwood eXcelon amplifiers, the X502-1. And you're gosh darn right Ken has wood, he has a lot of it. How much wood would a Kenwood could if a Kenwood could? I bet you never thought of it that way. Alright, that's enough about Ken's wood. The X502-1 has a maximum output of 1,000 infant kicks per shocky boy and 500 RMS at 2 ohms. The surface of the amp is only a little bigger than an original copy of GTA San Andreas and probably about 4.5 cases thick. And that shall conclude the scientific portion of this video. I got this amp right after I retired my J-Smell 500/1. And I say J-Smell because that amp was the stinkiest damn amp I've ever had. After a few minutes of barely any strain, it would end up smelling like pennies in the microwave and would get as hot as those same pennies if I had to guess. It operated okay, and definitely had enough power to push the W0s it was married to. Okay, maybe too much, because it literally cooked a W0 in under a month. After that, I finally found out what the Rock was cooking. And that was pennies and subwoofer rubber. Who would have thought he was cooking in the microwave this whole time? In a tasty. After that traumatic event occurred, I turned the amp down and crossed my fingers. The smell of a cooking subwoofer is comparable to being Dirty Sanchez by the Michelin Man with second-degree burns, and that was something I was not going to go through again. Which brings me to the Kenwood eXcelon X502-1. When I was researching this, I didn't really find too much on this one in particular, but I quickly realized it was out of stock many places and for who knows how long. And I didn't really find too many videos on the X502-1, so I just wanted to get one out there. I was thankfully able to find this locally for about $199 US, and it's slightly underpowered if I wanted the absolute maximum from the subs, but I figured I'd give them a break. My eardrums probably needed a break too if we're talking about things that needed a break. And I just want to say the only amp I have to compare to the Kenwood is the JL, since that was the only other amp these subs have been paired to. So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts. The JL Audio 500/1 for me was meh at best, and literal brain aneurysm inducing at worst. And while researching the 500/1, I can only come across great things, high praise, so I'm not sure if I got a faulty amp or if that's just the way this amp is. Which is one reason I wanted to replace it. Another is, look at this footprint for the JL amp compared to the Kenwood. It's like Kevin Hart and that guy who was always asking if I could smell what he was cooking. I swear to God, one more rock reference and I will refuse to finish this video. I didn't sign up for this shit. Of course, the JL amp is 10 plus years older than the Kenwood, so that's something to consider.
I've fallen.
Should I continue to shit on this old and decrepit amp that came out the same time this released? Just one of those days! Probably not. Let's now talk about how much wood Ken really has. Surprising yet obvious, there's no wood on or in the amp. I'm getting real sick and tired of getting promised Ken's wood and never getting it. But I didn't want to be too much trouble, so I settled for the woodless version. And I gotta say, I was a bit surprised. Even though it's lacking the wood promised, it's a pretty solid amp. Maybe that's because it's made of metal. And I really enjoy how small it is. It's nice and compact compared to the JL, and it took a whole bunch of weight off my back seat. Don't be fooled by the size. This pushes my W0s just fine. While I feel like the Kenwood isn't as powerful as the JL, it's made up with the fact that the first one has much cleaner sound quality. I just felt like the sound coming from the JL was sloppy and not as nice as I would have hoped. Also, I think the X502 dissipates heat much better than the Shark Boy fins on the JL. And maybe my favorite thing is the placement of the knobs to tune the amp.
Slop on my knob.
It depends where you mount it, of course, but for me, I can adjust the tune while in the driver's seat, and that's been great. The knobs, by the way, are opposite of where all the wires connect to, so I also like that much better than having to put my face down by all the wires and shit. That's annoying. And I'm no car audio wizard. I'm no Doug Bernard or...
I can't pick this up.
or no Williston Audio Labs.
Thanks, Big D. This is Dick Riculous.
I'm literally self-taught just by myself, no professional help, so it takes me a while to get the tune right on the amp. Who needs some fancy ass device anyway when I got the ear holes on the sides of my head? With the 500/1, it had me considering selling both the amp and the 12s. But something deep inside my brain told me to keep the subs, and buying this Kenwood eventually made me happy I did. And I know what you're probably gonna say, is there really such a thing as, too loud or too intense? And the answer is yes.
Get out of here! I can't even look at you!
Once you get past the point of enjoyment, it's too much. And with that 500/1, it just felt like too much to me. While I bought my Kenwood new, it didn't come with a birth sheet, but it did come from an authorized Kenwood dealer, so I trust it. I've only had it about a week and a half, and so far I'm happy I got it. I got it for a deal, so it was worth it to me. But I don't think I would have bought it at the original price, which is $350 US. I probably would have went with the Alpine MRV M500, but I would have had to order that online versus being impatient and going to the store and getting the Kenwood. Only time will tell how durable it is. I play Twister in the back with the local ministry every Thursday night, so that will be the true test. It seems well built, so I think we'll have plenty of games with it. If you can get this for $200 or less, I believe it's definitely worth it because I have been satisfied so far with it. But if it's full price when you see this, because I'm not sure how long the sale is going to go for, definitely look somewhere else for those 500 nipple jolts are a mess. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please subscribe. And oh yeah, don't forget this one thing.